Well, this is my first YouTube upload in which I'm going to replace this broken screen of my grandson's Dragon Touch Max10. Now there's two ways that I've seen this done. One is to basically lift everything out and go in from the back and take everything off and then separate the digitizer from the main screen, put it back together and then put it all back in. However, I'm going to go in from the front. What you do need to do when you're going to start this job is make sure that your new digitizer is going to fit. So before you start, just check it out and check that it does fit. What I'll do is I'll put the site where I purchased this one from on the notes in the YouTube video. Anyway, what you need is a number of tools. I've got some here which I use for basically changing the battery in an iPhone, and you need a good heat source, so I've got my wife's hairdryer. What you need to do is heat this edge. You'll see on here where the glue is going to be, and what you want to do is what I'll do is not try to separate it where the cable is, because I won't start there, hopefully we'll finish there. So we'll turn it around the other way. I'll probably try and start somewhere along this edge. I think that's about all I need to say before we get started. And what I'll do now is start applying a heat source when I figure out how to use my wife's hairdryer. That's it. Well, we're just coming up to the right temperature now. So let me see if that'll lift up now. I'll try this corner first. Seems to be about right. Just a little bit difficult getting anything in, but we seem to be going there. So once you've got the edge prized up a little bit, you can put something in and hopefully try and slide it down the edge. That seems to be working fine. I'm surprised at that myself. So just slide it along. That should be lifting up nicely. That's where one of the major cracks is. I should have turned it on and I can still turn it on and let you see that it's working. Look, but you can see the major crack across the screen there. And we'll turn it off till we get this sorted out. Get that back in there. Let me stick one of these plectrum pieces in. You can see once you get it warm enough, it should be pretty much straightforward. When I say warm enough, I don't mean cook the whole thing, just get it warm. And as you could see, I was able to touch it, so it's not overheated. As I said, just work this round, and hopefully we should have a success. I should have brought in a few more plectrums. I do make an effort to try and play guitar, so I've got plenty of them. Don't like using metal really. Just heat up this edge a little bit more. As you can see, it's starting to come up now. An idea would be to get a few more plectrums when you're doing this, so you can just hold it apart. Oops, that is the broken bit. Well, one of them. Put a little bit more heat on here. Don't worry if it cracks, that's just the old one that's cracking a little bit. A little bit tedious, but worth just waiting and taking your time, don't rush it. Bit more heat. Nearly there. And I think we've almost got lift off. There we go. The first part of the job successful. Right, for the second part of the job, what we have to do is take the back out, which shouldn't be too difficult because that normally pries out quite easily. So if you look for an easy place to open, such as there, you can see there that you can just prise the back off. Taking care not to damage any of the ports. Let me just, oops, I've turned it on again. So if we just prise this a little bit so it comes out. Around this bit of it. That's coming up nicely. As I say, you're not in any rush with this, so don't try and speed along. Unless you're a business, of course, and you need to get it done quite quickly. Just work your way around the edge again until you get the whole of the inside to come out. Don't let anything go in too far or you're going to damage it. And be careful of that USB port to the side. saying that I'm not sure if you're doing all of that, but basically I'm just working around the edge here. Being as careful as possible, and eventually all of the inside should pop out. Nearly there. There, done it. So you can see there is our screen. Now, that goes in back in like that. Let's make sure of that. Okay, so now you can see. So we make sure the camera's lined up properly. I'll just put that under there so it doesn't stick again. Now you can see where the screen is actually connected to. So if we lift up that a little bit of this tape here, sticky, quite sticky that. Just hold everything in place. Now this is a clever little clip that holds the cable in. What you have to do is you have to flick it up, I believe, like that. And you see that I've just flicked up that little cable holder there, and then the cable just falls out quite easily. Once you've done that, you can open it back up and take out your cable. Quite easy. So the next thing is then to just make sure that everything is clean along here. Because obviously if that's not smooth, your new screen isn't going to sit down properly. There may be a little bit of glass on it. I'm using my fingers, probably not the right thing to do. If any of this is a bit too hard to come off, you just heat it a little bit. Then it should come off quite easily. I'll use metal. I think that's near enough. Right, I'll just pause for a moment while I go and get something to clean that screen with, just to make sure there's no fingerprints. Okay, I've just got a little bit of window cleaner or white vinegar spray. Probably not the recommended sort of way of cleaning the screen, but anyway, just make sure that you clean it like that, and then I'll use a tissue just to make sure it's totally dry. And then I've got an eyeglasses piece of soft material and just give it another quick rub. Right, pretty straightforward that. Looks nice and clean to me. So then we'll get this screen, and it comes in a vacuum packed piece of plastic which should separate quite easily. Sorry about that, forgot to put the light on. So we should be able to separate these two halves of the plastic, he says with confidence. There. So I'll leave the front one off for now, just take off the back one, and then we can try it on for size to start with. That seems to fit perfectly. So what we then need to do is just make sure that we put my finger on it. Try not to touch the screen. If we push that cable through that hole, we'll then connect it up once we've finished, but then we can remove all the tape backing. My wife just sneaking in eating a biscuit. Like so. And then hopefully we should be able to make this fit in place. Lined up quite carefully because there's not a lot of room to play about with on this, and you don't get a lot of second chances. But I found if you get one edge in like that, lined up with the bottom, like I say, I've found this is the first one I've done, and now I've got the plastic stuck. That's gone in quite easy. We'll give it a better push down when we get it all back together. So then you've got your cable on this side. Now again, I hope that can be seen, but that little that tape stuck back down again. But the clip to hold in this cable is there, which needs to be flipped up. Then if you just get your cable and push it in very carefully, it should go in, and you should be able to lock it in place with that cable. That seems fine. Now before I do anything, I'm just going to make sure that cable has got it properly. So when I find the switch to turn the thing on, there. So the cable's definitely in okay. So I can turn that back off again. And I suppose now the screen's on, we can take off that front piece, make it easier to handle. Let's get it off. Because when we go to put this back on, we have to make sure that all of the buttons, especially those three up there, stay in place. And that we don't damage that USB port, which is crucial. So we'll just slip the back on if it goes. They're in place, the USB is in place. Just click this back down. And that should be it. So we'll just turn it back on to make sure it works. There you go. One screen replaced. It's quite easy. You don't need a great deal of skill. The plastic on the back of the Dragon Touch is coming off, but that should have probably come off in any case. So everything seems to be working. If you do enjoy this video and you have used it, please press the like button. It's my first one, and I do repair lots of other bits and bobs, and if this one's successful on YouTube, I might even put some more up. Thanks for watching. Hopefully see you all again soon. Bye.